want to welcome Belmont Shore Youth Rugby. We're excited to be with you.
Good.
So our company is called Manuia Group, and our goal is to strengthen families by helping youth reach their potential. Many of you may wonder what the word Manuia means. And the origin of Manuia actually comes from our last name, Fitisemanu. So Fiki means to flip or fall, and the word Manuia is Samoan, and it means blessing. So the proverb literally says, may a blessing fall your way. And we have had a lot of blessings in our life, and so we're hopeful that we can help bring more blessings to families. So I'm Geraldine, and my husband is Alema. Just to give you a little background about ourselves, we've had 3 kids serve service missions for our church. We have 3 of our boys have made Eagle Scout, the rank of Eagle Scout. We have our daughter who was a Rugby All-American. And then I have been in the community as a youth leader for well over 15 years. I currently work at Salt Lake Community College as an online success coordinator. I ran a marathon. I love saying that. That's my one claim to grit, right? And my bachelor's is in business and my master's is in education. So that gives you a little bit about me. My husband, Alema, was the director of player personnel for Brigham Young University for the last couple of years. Before that, he was the assistant director of player personnel at the University of Utah. Yay, Pac-12, right? And then currently he is a scout for USA Rugby under 18. The majority of his career has been as a business administrator. He was on the national championship team, if any of you can remember that, for BYU. And then his bachelor's is in political science with a master's in business. So that kind of gives you a little bit about our experience. And I'll let Alema kind of take over for a few slides.
So we're IECA associate members, and that's just our professional association that where we, as being a member, you're able to aspire to certain principles, good principles that you operate by, best practices. One of those requirements for being an educational consultant is to visit about 50 universities. And right now we're upwards of 80. Another one of the responsibilities is to understand each student, know their talents, their strengths, know what makes them unique, know what gives them joy and passion, so that we can package you in the right way for admission into the university that you want to go to. And another thing that I just want to point out as well, the very last one is we are independent educational consultants. Usually high school counselors, university admissions officers, university counselors, they're usually working for a school, but we're independent. We're independent and we work for our parents and families that we serve. So this is our icebreaker slide. Icebreaker slide, this is the cost of going to school. And what I've done here is just put up some schools, just so that you can kind of understand what school costs. It's the reason why you're gonna go organize yourself and play really hard and prepare yourself on the field and prepare yourself academically, is because these totals here are very big totals. And so just to give you a feel, this is some of the research I did. If you see those totals at the bottom, that includes all the expenses that are lined up on the left. You have tuition and fees, room and board. You got some personal expenses in there, transportation. As you can see, these are some big totals. Southern California, that's 79,580. Stanford is 79,718. And then with all these totals, you got Dartmouth down there, you got Harvard down there. Times that by 4, and that's what it costs to go to school. This is cost of attendance. And as you can see, the very last one at the bottom there, United States Military Academy, that's Army up there in New York. Yeah, that's the most. 105,000 costs of going to school there per year. So that's a total of $420,000. Of course, it's a great school and everything's paid for if you can get into school there. But you got to commit to 5 years of military service. So this is our icebreaker, just to get a feel for what we're playing for. And I'm going to give you some more information to think about. Collegiate women's rugby. I have a list here that just kind of, we looked up, all this information is available online. And the way I've divided up this list was by admissions help. Usually when you go to a school and they want you, and they want to, usually like in football, they give you a scholarship and stuff like that. They give you admissions help, they give you help for tuition and books, they give you help for room and board. So these schools all give you admissions help, and that's the reason why they kind of attracted me, because then I know that tuition and books and room and board will be the other following help that they will give.
In the break room. This is our break room. This little area.
This is varsity. This is all these schools have designated their women's rugby as a varsity sport. That means that they get all their help and support from the athletic department. So it's like a full-on sport, fully supported. Unlike the clubs that are at the university level, and you're kind of piecing things together, and you're sometimes having to raise your own money to do things. If you get that varsity designation, it's a wonderful thing. Lots of opportunity here, right? We got about 29 schools here and growing for women's rugby. It's one of those emerging sports. It's going to be an NCAA sport. It needs about probably another 20 schools or 15 schools, and then it'll be an NCAA sport getting fully backed by the NCAA. Men's rugby, not as long and not as big as a list, but here are some opportunities. These are the schools that give you admissions help, and then because they give you admissions help, they also give some tuition and books and some room and board. UC Berkeley, you see that at the bottom? #1 rugby school in the country, right? They've been a great example of how to run rugby, but they don't give admissions help to their rugby players, nor do they help you with tuition and books for room and board. So just to give you a feel for the opportunities that are out there, and there are many. Okay. Turn the time over to Geraldine.
All right, so I don't know if it was an icebreaker or a heartbreaker, but I'm sure you parents, in looking at those totals to go to school, the big question now becomes, how can I get college paid for, right? And so tonight we wanted to focus on 3 main areas: character, academics, and film. But more importantly, great character, great academics, and great film. So when we're talking about character, some of the things that can go into this, parents, as you're helping your child kind of manage their time, is leadership, right? That could include being a team captain, being on student council, even leading teams at work. But that leadership is a big component. Service is right alongside leadership. Community service, church youth service, your team service, working with a nonprofit, working in your church and your communities is really helpful to showing your character. Another area is your talents. Many of our kids love music. They love singing. They love art. Some of them even are in the band or in the choir. These really build out a well-rounded applicant. And then having a job. And that could include taking care of some of your siblings, right? Kind of helping out where mom and dad need them at home. And so this altogether really helps our kids create a great portfolio of character. Next would be great academics. So when we're talking about academics, you're looking at the GPA, right? But even more important is the rigor, meaning, are your kids in college prep classes? Are they taking honors classes? Are they looking at an AP class? all of that adds to the strength of a student. And then, of course, the dreaded ACT, SAT tests, right? Many of our kids out there cringe when it comes to taking tests, but that is a main part of the application. There's been some questions on test optional lately. Where is it even good, or is it even required, right, to submit your test? We encourage our students to take tests several times, meaning get familiar with how to take the test, understand the areas that you can increase your potential, and then even getting tutoring to help with the tests. And then last, the relationship with your teachers. This is important. Why? Because many of our applications require recommendations from teachers. So you want your student to build that relationship. Let them know they're planning on applying to these great schools. That way their teachers can better monitor their progress and speak to their character.
Great film. And so what I wanted to help cover here is you really can't go to a rugby school who's looking for rugby players and have bad film. So the film has to be great, right? And so these are some of the aspects of your game that you should be looking at to develop. And so we look at, as a scout for USA Rugby, we look at size and athleticism, your speed, your upside. Can you get better? Can you get stronger? Can you get faster? Impact on the game. If I'm watching a particular game, I want to see, do you make an impact on the game? Do I see you involved? Game awareness. Do you understand where you're at and how to win this game at any particular time during the game? I'm looking at basic skills, catch and pass, basic accuracy and pass. I'm also looking at your attack and your support lines, and how you get off the ground so you can be involved in the plays. I'm looking at defense. Do you understand how to tackle? Do you understand your defensive structure? And then the other parts, your disposition in contact. Are you okay? Do you have fun in contact? Fitness and strength is the last thing we look at. And again, there's no particular order to this, but this is just to give you an idea of what coaches are looking for, so you can create that great film.
Alema, I just wanted to interject on that slide there and just let the parents know that these coaches can start looking at the film and contacting your athlete as soon as the sophomore summer. So I just want you to know, don't wait for their senior year. This recruiting happens their sophomore and junior year, more so than it does the senior year. So just to kind of give you the heads up, collect film each year and reach out and express interest in the colleges.
The admission strategy, part of the talent of your educational consultant would be someone who knows how to package you, who knows your strengths, and can put you where you're putting your best foot forward. You could be going as an academic, no sports. Maybe you're going in as a student athlete. You could be a budding community leader, or even an entrepreneur. There's people we package who are just straight musicians or scientists, or they're involved in the tech industry. So all these things can be a possibility of getting you into a great school. With our services, the services we offer, there's 4 different services. And freshman and sophomore year, we kind of have that as each of those around the same price, because you're kind of building the history of your application. You need to be able to build a history of you being involved in your community, showing leadership, having service, developing your talents. This is what you're doing freshman and sophomore year, and we'll coach you through those years. And then junior year is where you're solidifying your role in the community, high school community. You're solidifying that GPA and ACT score. You're starting to take those ACT or SAT exams a couple times. And then that last term of junior year, we're starting to gather the materials for your application. And then we try to take that ACT or SAT probably end of junior year going into that summer. Senior year is a hectic time for a senior. This is when we're putting everything into the application and we're going to press submit. And so early action, early decision, that's usually November 1st. And so we're packaging all that up so that we can press submit early action, early decision.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, why would you need Manuia? And these are some of our strengths here, is the relationships we've been able to build with coaches. So we have a Facebook page, Manuia Life, and if you go on there, there are several interviews with NYRA coaches, the academy coaches, as well as more recently, the NYRA commissioner. And it's been a blessing for us to get the support of these coaches that value our kids being on their campus. As far as visiting colleges, you know, it's been hard in a pandemic year to even visit colleges. And this is kind of where we can help paint the picture for you as far as us having visited closer to 80 plus colleges. The cost of our program is unmatched, and many of our community are unaware of these services, but they do cost, you know, thousands of dollars, sometimes even the tens of thousands of dollars. And what we've tried to do is put it in a price point that's manageable. And then the Power 5 recruiting, as well as Ivy League experience, has allowed us to help with that process of building that relationship with a coach. And then lastly, we have a lot of experience with the Common App, which works for the Ivy League school, as well as Stanford, as well as other college applications. So we really are here to bridge the gap of knowledge for our communities. So if any of this has kind of sparked interest in you, if you have a child that you would like us to look more closely at and give specific feedback, we have a free consultation. If you go to our website, Manuia Life, or even our Facebook page, you can message us there. But we'd like to spend some time with you and kind of give you a strategy of how we can help your child, and even just advice as you're moving forward.
But thank you so much. God bless you guys. And
Thank you, guys.
we'll stay in touch.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes,
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yes.
Everyone stay
Merry
safe
Christmas.
and well out there.
Yeah.
Stay
blessings.
safe. All right.
Everyone have a
Manuia.
good night.
Hallelujah.